We're coming to you live from the Hospital Hill Studios in Babade. The top stories this hour. His Majesty King Eswatini III is placed meeting the development aspirations of the nation at the heart of his working visit to the Republic of Turkey. Deputy Prime Minister says her office is receiving an increased number of calls from people who report child abuse, neglect and GBV cases. And the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy has issued 3 licenses to operators in the mining sector. Good evening, the news in detail. His Majesty King Eswatini III is placed meeting the development aspirations of the nation at the heart of his working visit to the Republic of Turkey, or working engagements which have been undertaken by His Majesty in Turkey underscore the King's policy to forge profitable partnerships for the country as it spurs no effort to achieve sustainable development. His Majesty has now proceeded to Istanbul, where he has arrived accompanied by Nkosikazi Magalangambule.
His Majesty King Eswatini III has kept a rigorous schedule over several days, having lots of bilateral engagements and engaging with other leaders to cultivate opportunities for eMswati since his arrival here in the Republic of Turkey, accompanied by Nkosikazi Magalangambule. A bilateral meeting with the President of Turkey, His Excellency Recep Erdogan, sets the tone for a fruitful working trip for the King. During the meeting, His Majesty called for increased trade activity between Turkey and the Kingdom of Eswatini, while the President reaffirmed Turkey's commitment towards scaling up relations with Eswatini. The King then participated in the Antalya Diplomacy Forum, where over 20 heads of state and nearly 5,000 participants endorsed diplomacy as a platform for solutions to global conflicts. Nkosikazi Magalangambule was hosted by the First Lady Emin Erdogan as a prime guest at the Women, Peace and Security session on the sidelines of the forum, where the First Lady stressed the importance of women's role in achieving lasting and sustainable peace worldwide. Numerous important achievements have been made, setting new milestones in bilateral cooperations between the Kingdom of Eswatini and the Republic of Turkey. His Majesty held bilateral talks aimed at increasing the scope of cooperation between Eswatini and 2 states, Russia and Serbia. The King meeting with Russia's top diplomat, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who invited Eswatini to the Russian elections later this month. The King scaled up his diplomatic crusade with another high-level bilateral meeting, this time with the Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Republic of Serbia. Groundbreaking agreements setting the tone for robust cooperation in the fields of education and trade have been sealed. The Kingdom has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Turkish Marif Foundation. The memorandum of understanding establishes a framework under which the 2 parties will establish collaborative activities in education and training, with the foundation expressing an interest to build internationally recognized schools from preschool to institution of higher learning level. The Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority has also entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Foreign Economic Board of Turkey for the establishment of the Turkey Kingdom of Eswatini Business Council, which seeks to promote trade between the 2 countries. His Majesty has also held fruitful talks with delegations from the Turkish Red Crescent and the Turkish Coordination and Cooperation Agency. Now, part of His Majesty's mandate here in Turkey is to keep Eswatini competitive on the global stage. And a lot of ground has been covered in as far as repositioning the Kingdom's brand as a preferred destination hub for the Turkey business community. Now, His Majesty the King has proceeded to Istanbul, where he is accompanied by Nkosikazi Magalangambule. And even here in Istanbul, the King is expected to continue with his working program. This is a report by Sandile Makanya, reporting with Zoluma Sugu from Istanbul in the Republic of Turkey.
Coming back home, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Thusile Dladla, says her office is receiving an increased number of calls from people who report child abuse, neglect and GBV cases. Dladla says these reports include parents who do not want to support their children, including paying for their school fees. Now, Dladla says they will partner with the media in dealing with this issue, but clarified that the objective was not to scandalize anyone.
Simphalele na iminister ka education yalo kuthi minister sicela ukuthi by March bantwana bonke bangene esikolweni.
The DPM says they have written to the Ministry of Education to ask that all children of school-going age should be allowed back to class. She says her office will find means to pay for these children. She says where there is a shortfall, there has to be an understanding, because if parents commit to paying 1,000 emalangeni per month, why can't those students or pupils be allowed to continue with their lessons? The DPM says they have asked that children be allowed back to school while a way forward is being considered. She says no child should be left behind because of lack of funds, and adds that they have already started talks about this. She further says they have already started paying for fees from the pocket, and so do members of parliament, and that is why a solution has to be found.
So nako lokho satawuhlala phasi sesiqalile kuyibhunga.
The Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy has issued 3 licenses to operators in the mining sector. These were set by the Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Honourable Prince Nkokela, when requesting the House of Assembly Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Natural Resources to pass the over 1 billion budget for the ministry's operations in the 2024-2025 financial year. On another note, the Minister of Finance, Honourable Neil Reichenbach, also presented a budget request of over 28 million malangeni for the members of the House of Assembly Portfolio Committee on the Ministry of Finance to pass. Eswatini TV's Mbongwa Dube has more on that story.
In his preamble to the 2023-2024 performance report and subsequent debate, the Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Honourable Prince Nkokela, says the mining sector is expected to increase its contribution to the country's GDP, which currently stands at 0.2% to 5% by the year 2028.
3 mining rights were granted for coal resources at Mbaga, and another 2 prospecting licenses were granted for coal resources at St. Philip's South and Zaliche, respectively, whilst a prospecting license was granted for diamonds north of the defunct diamond mine, Katogolwa. The ministry, I must say, Mr. Chairman, in close cooperation with the Minerals Management Board, is working towards ensuring that there is increased economic activity to boost employment opportunities through mining of the vast mineral reserve that the country has.
The Minister of Finance, Honourable Neil Reichenbach, when delivering his preamble to the Ministry's performance report and debate, says the Ministry will continue to accelerate programs of economic empowerment to the citizenry and the support to other government ministries for the effective delivery of their respective mandates.
Office of Internal Audit verified arrears amounting to 231 million emalangeni accumulated by 17 in order to improve fiscal discipline towards ensuring that ministries and departments manage their funds appropriately to deliver their programs and activities within their budgets. I presume they're referring to 17 entities here. The office was able to develop an enterprise risk management manual with the assistance of Commonwealth and has trained risk champions in the 7 pilot ministries on using the manual. The aim is to increase awareness, enhance ownership by ministries, and strengthen the coordination and the establishment of risk management in these ministries.
After the debate of the Minister of Natural Resources report, the Portfolio Committee's chairman, Honorable Madala Mhlanga, requested the Honorable Minister to bring written responses to the committee's questions. On the other hand, the Portfolio Committee on the Minister of Finance, chaired by Honorable Maui Kumalo, was still debating the Ministry's performance report at the time of compiling this report. Reporting, I'm Mwatube in Dobamba.
The Ministry of Home Affairs secures the capacity to register birth certificates for newborns following the reception of essential supplies from World Vision. Represented by Honorable Jane Mkonta, the Minister for Home Affairs expresses gratitude, noting that the received materials, including mobile offices and laptops, will significantly assist healthcare facilities in remote areas.
World Vision has generously donated essential supplies to the Ministry of Home Affairs to facilitate the issuance of birth certificate for newborn babies. Honorable Jane Mkonda, the representative of the Minister for Home Affairs, expresses gratitude and emphasizes that the ministry will now be able to operate more efficiently.
This donation is in the form of 1 fully furnished mobile office, 3 computers, 3 printers, 6 laptops, furniture consisting of tables and chairs. I stand before you today to emphasize the importance of birth registration and highlight how this donation will contribute to the ministry, especially the Department of Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Strategic Intent for newborns, especially the closing of the TAP initiative. It is crucial to recognize the significance of birth registration. Birth registration is not only the first legal requirement for a child, but also an essential step towards ensuring their well-being. Without proper registration, a child remains invisible, deprived of their rights and opportunities. Birth registrations entitles a child to their rights and bestows upon to the state the responsibility to protect and provide for them throughout their lives. In line with our ministry's strategic intent for newborns, we have launched an initiative called the Closing of the TAP. The primary objective of this initiative is to ensure that every newborn is registered at the point of birth. The goal is to capture 65% of births occurring in health facilities, thereby establishing a comprehensive record of our nation's future.
These materials were handed over by Mark Kelly, the World Vision Director of Southern Africa, along with Tina Mukunda, the World Vision Country Director. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Bendulo Kumbi, Mbabane.
The Minister of Economic Planning and Development, Dr. Tambogini, says the International Convention Center at Eswatini will host a major summit in the year 2025. Though the minister says the contractor has been given strict timelines to stick to, so to ensure that these happens. The minister said these when responding to questions from his ministry's portfolio committee in the House of Assembly on Monday.
The International Convention Center was a major point of debate during the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development's appearance before its portfolio committee in the House of Assembly.
ICC a fish ukuthi angiboni siyamlalisa naye uthongo kunene ukuthi ngabe lo nyaka siyayisonga yini
itoro induna lehloniphekile fortunately bengikhona khona kuleli tiko ithi siphasise budget yekugcina leyo sebenza noma nangikhumbula kahle kwathiwa i99%. Nasiphasisa nje imali lesuka kuyo kwathiwa lena by 2024 iyaphela utawusala le fish. So uyatibuta ke ukuthi namhla induna seyiphindze futhi itawufuna ibudget lenye yakhona kwendekani.
Wabeka mawujuba lapha so ungathi indlala ngaphandle kanti ngumsebenzi welive la kufakwe imali khona lena nje imali lesikhululela yona ukuthi ihambe yosebenza sitaphusha minister ukuthi kube ngomnyaka wayo wokuphela
ICC next week ngicela ukuthi sikomiti economic planning nawo minister siya lapha ICC siyobuka ukwendekani la.
The ministry responded briefly and promised to bring other responses in writing.
sekuko kubili akukho ngaphansi kwa 3.5 billion kusengaqala kwakhipha bekungiloko hayi lezi mali leliminyetelwako delibandla neparlament letonikwa fully futhi ICC lesesibheke ukuthi iyaphela kulomnyaka itawuphela ngamalini ngabo May 2025 ubheke umhlangano omkhulu lapha ku-ICC.
Not all was doom and gloom, as the committee had nothing but praises for the micro projects unit. For Eswatini TV News, Mgosima Vimbela, Parliament.
Eswatini's calls for service delivery is set to be addressed. Now, these are the sentiments of the Minister for Tingunda, Honorable Skumbuzo Dlamini, who has inaugurated the Interministerial Steering Committee. This committee is tasked with ensuring the functionality of Section 218 of the Constitution Act of 2005. Minister Dlamini emphasizes that this committee will facilitate coordination amongst government agencies to improve service delivery to the people.
Most concerns raised by Eswatini during Sibaya pertained to issues regarding service delivery. In response, Cabinet Subcommittee has initiated an interministerial steering committee tasked with operationalizing Section 218 of the Constitution. The Minister for Tingunda, along with Honorable Dr. Tambukina, Honorable Apollo Maphalala, and Honorable Prince Simelane, constitutes the Cabinet Subcommittee.
Lasakhala nje yakho eMaswatinyana athi lo hulumende akafikile kubantu akafiki uhulumende kubantu asafuna nje lokho eMaswatinyana konke sekasakutholile eMaswati konke sekwendekile but
Honorable Skumbuzo Dlamini, in commissioning the committee, asserts that it will address the challenges faced by Eswatini.
Kufanele ukuthi mhlawumbe 5 years after the constitution seyiphasisiwe iyayi-envisage noma yayibheke ukuthi utabe sowendiwe lowo msebenzi.
The Minister for Housing, Honorable Apollo Maphalala, encourages committee to maximize efforts and dedication in fulfilling this national assignment.
Constitution singabonga nje kuyo imbubo yemhlaba sekudelwane kulokuchubeka nekuhlahla indlela kuleti indzaba leti.
The committee is expected to operate for 15 months and will report to the Cabinet Subcommittee. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Ezulwini.
Well, with those news, we shift gears into the world of business. We take a look at financial indicators to get a sense of how markets fared today in a financial report.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. In the world of sports, the Minister for Sports, Honorable Bongani Nzima, says the 900,000 Malangeni KFC sponsorship to Skaratindwe Soccer Foundation is in line with the government's initiative of seeing sporting codes being fully supported at grassroots level. Now, Minister Nzime was speaking during the 2024 Skaratindo Foundation KFC launch of 900,000 Malangeni held at Mountain Inn in Babani.
KFC Eswatini has sponsored Skaratindo Foundation with a package of 900,000 Malangeni for the 2024 school football games for under 17 girls and both under 15 and 13 boys. Speaking during the launch, Minister for Sports Honorable Bongani Nzima applauded the two parties for the contribution of the football growth in the country.
It is truly remarkable to see such a huge, thought out investment going into the grassroots development. Indeed, for all your focus on the end product, we are all aware that there can be no high performance sports without adequate investment in the grassroots development.
Nigel England, Chief Executive Officer of KFC Eswatini, says their kind gesture is one way of contributing to the development of the game in the country.
I think KFC appreciates the link between sport and the development of children. And I think we see that with all of our own children. It brings discipline to their lives, it brings structure, it brings cooperation and team building.
Founder of the foundation himself, Skaratindwa, he says his effort is in line with programs that aim to uplift football in the country.
It pains me. And I'm not going to get into the politics of what's going on. But I know more soccer, scatter seats, and we want to engage, as I said, the ministry and the Ministry of Education. Let's see how we can expand even the period of play. We know the children have to write exams, but we still believe that they can write the exams and still play soccer.
Other speakers during the event included a representative from the Ministry of Sports, representative from the Ministry of Education, Eswatini Sports Council, and the National Football Association, who all spoke positively about the initiative for giving special attention to grassroots program. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabisum Sonera, Babani.
With the sports news, we hit the home stretch of the news bulletin at 10 at Eswatini TV. But before we go, a quick reminder of news making headlines tonight. His Majesty King Mswati III has placed meeting the development aspirations of the nation at the heart of his working visit to the Republic of Turkey. Deputy Prime Minister says her office is receiving an increased number of calls from people who report child abuse, neglect and GBV cases. And the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy has issued 3 licenses to the operators in the mining sector. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, that's how we reach the conclusion of the news. We shall now cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the team here at Eswatini TV. For now, it's good night and God bless.
Emakhosi sekalumemetile Lithanga ukuthi liphelele nebungani bakhe esigodlweni ehlane. Umsakato wethuthombe utawukwethulela lona mkhosi bukhome ngemgcibelo ngensimbi yesithathu ntambama. Ungaphuthelwa ke ngwanehelo muhle ehlangena nathi noma ngabe ukuphi nemhlaba.